The third model is the pool, process and sell model. So there are certain commodities where local processing can actually add value. For instance, lentils. So one of the most widely eaten lentils is tuar dal, otherwise known as pigeon pea. So pigeon pea is a lentil which is called tuar dal in the local language, and it is widely used all over India. Now, when it comes out of the farm, it is green in color, then it is sun dried and it has a thick husk on it. So what is done is that large dal mills or lentil mills are constructed where it is dehusked, and there is a complicated process of dehusking it. You have to soak it in water, you have to put oil on it, you have to put it into the machinery so that the husk comes out, then you have to break it into two and so on, and that's the dal that is available in most of the homes in India. So that processing of the whole tuar into the finished dal is what we mean by processing and adding value. Now this is a good thing to do because it does add profits to the farmers if the cooperative owns such a processing unit. Similarly, you can have for groundnut deshelling. You just remove the shell and then you grade and sort the groundnuts, and you can add value by doing that simple task, and the costs are much lower in the villages compared to doing it in the cities. That's all very good, but there are some challenges in this pool, process and sell. The first challenge is that you need capital investment. You need capital investment to set up these processing units. Typically, we have to understand what is the nature of this pool, process, agribusiness model. That's true whether it's a cooperative or not. The simple fact is, financially, the capital investments are relatively low, but the working capital investments are very high. So to give a concrete example, if you take a medium sized groundnut mill, the entire capital cost, including land, buildings, machinery, etc., may be between 50 lakhs to 1 crore. But the working capital, the throughput, could be as high as 10 to 15 crores in that. And so you need to organize the working capital. So that's one challenge. You need both capital for investment and you need working capital. And the rest of the business remains the same as the earlier model, where you have to have some savvy about the commodity prices. So we are deliberately not saying store and sell. We are just saying pool, process and sell. Because if you try to speculate on prices after processing, sometimes you could end up in a mess. And typical examples of such agri produce are groundnuts again. So since the groundnut prices are going up and down, it's very difficult to say I'm going to process this and hold it for a few months later and then sell it, because the price may actually go down. And secondly, groundnut does not stay fresh for a very long time. Maximum is 3 or 4 months if you follow all the scientific practices of keeping it properly stored. So you have to pool, process and immediately sell, and that's how many of the say groundnut mills are operating in the country. So it has one advantage, that it de-risks price, because it may take a day or two to process it. The prices do not fluctuate that much, and so whatever price you had bought it, you can sell it, the value added, immediately and realize a profit. But there are some challenges. The other challenge is capacity utilization. So if you set up a unit planning for the next 5 years, in the initial years the capacity may not be fully utilized, in which case your fixed costs are much higher compared to the throughput, and you may end up with either very low profits or even losses. But if you are able to manage it at full capacity, then you will make complete profits. You will make good profits. So one way out is to get long-term financing. Now how do you get that long-term financing? The farmers are not some capital to enable this to take off. The other option is, today food technology has increased considerably, has improved a lot. So, instead of large mills, since we are working in the villages, we could think of smaller processing units. So, there is plenty of manufacturing out there. Initially it is imported from other countries, it could be from Japan or China or the US or Germany or some other country, and now there is a lot of indigenization going on in different parts of the country, where small machines which are able to give the same quality of output as a big mill are available. The capital costs are much smaller. So, that is another option that a promoting agency should consider, and the challenge of raising large capital more or less vanishes. To put a concrete number on it, if you want to set up a large groundnut mill today, as I said, it may be closer to 70 lakhs to 1 crore, but if you want to set up a small decorticator, the most modern one with the best quality output, you may have to spend about 5 to 7 lakh rupees, and if you are intelligent, you can even cut down some of that cost. So, you start with one, when it reaches full capacity, you set up one more, and so on. So, you can expand capacity that way, and you can even have a decentralized production model where in each gram panchayat or set of villages, you can have one processing unit where the raw material like groundnut is de-shelled, but the marketing can be done in a pooled way, so that you can command a better presence in the market and negotiate better with buyers. So, that is the third model, which is we call the pool, process and sell.